Hi, welcome to Above Deck, a below deck breakdown podcast. I'm Sarah Goldman, a photographer living in Charleston, South Carolina, and with me is my college roommate and co-host, Kelli.
I'm Kelli Busby, former radio host and current volleyball mom, coming to you from my home studio in Columbus, Ohio. Together, we hosted the Socks with Sandals radio show on WFAL in Bowling Green, Ohio, and we are back again this week to discuss Below Deck and our love of all things Bravo.
Today we'll be discussing Below Deck Med Season 9, Episode 4, Greeking Havoc.
Here's your recap. Tensions in the deck team increase during a chaotic picnic, and the chef finds himself in trouble with Captain Sandy following a guest complaint. Things heat up between Joe and Ellie and Bree. So, Sarah, what do you think about this episode?
I thought it was a pretty good one. Things are getting more interesting. I feel bad for Jono because I feel like he's like, why did they hire someone that's not like a super experienced super yacht chef? Because I feel like he's a nice guy, but he's kind of been set up for disaster. Maybe, I don't know. It's just it's not great, and I feel for him. I mean, because he does have a good attitude and he's trying. So when the episode starts out, Jono's called up to the bridge and Sandy says, the spices are too strong, the eggs are too cold. And Sandy reminds him, eggs are made to order. Like, you don't need to make those ahead of time. And Sandy says, this is all kind of a red flag for her.
She's also going to give him another chance because that is what Captain Sandy does. And I will always appreciate about her.
Yeah.
However, she does say that she's also looking for a backup just in case. So she's having her bases covered.
Yes. So although thinking back to other situations like Chef Kiko, I don't know that she gave him a second chance. It was like one time and it was like the guests wanted a Las Vegas like casino night, I think. And Hannah told him to make like chicken fingers and French fries, like it was kind of like kid food. And he was like, oh, I don't know what a Las Vegas night is. So he just took her advice and that's what he made. And it was not great. And she let him go. Like, I don't recall there being like warnings before that. Definitely hashtag justice for Kiko.
Okay, sidebar. That sounds very like sketch on Hannah's side.
I hope I'm remembering this correctly. This is what I recall. Yeah, that is like one firing that I just stuck in
and
my
you weren't
craw.
the only one, because remember Roy Orbison and his family said that the kids were like, where's Chef
What?
Kiko?
Yes,
Why did
exactly.
you fire him? So
Yeah. And he was just so sweet. Anyway. Okay, so this is just a passing comment, but Aesha says that loads of her friends are getting perms, like they're cool again. Did you have perms?
I didn't. I couldn't do them. But when I it was just too smelly.
Yeah, they're real stinky, but you also have some natural curl and like texture to your hair.
My hair was stick straight until I got my period.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
It was the
gosh.
most bizarre thing. Either that or somebody just showed me how to style it, but I never had any sort of deal going on. But I will tell you, they are coming back. And you know who they're really popular with?
Who?
Teenage boys.
Teenage boys? So they have like froze?
Basically, really tight, like grandma perms, like really tight curls. And it's like Sideshow Bob almost.
Oh my God. I'm going to need to see some pictures. We got to do some Googling.
In Mallory's yearbook. Stand by.
Oh gosh. That's crazy. I was kind of thinking about getting one a few years ago, but I didn't even know if people did them anymore. I feel like my hair places that I've gone to, they do not do them because they're so damaging for your hair.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I don't know.
But I'll just curl it, but it's straight. It is what it is. Ellie's, I just want to say she is one of the strongest second stews we've seen in a while.
Yeah.
She's such a great teacher. I really like her.
It's really nice to see, to be honest, because it's not always like that. It's more of a power trip for past second stews. So,
yeah. But as we know, things can change. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a beach setup today. Sandy tells Iain to help set up the beach setup and then come back to the boat and just leave 2 deckhands ashore. She wants him on board as bosun.
Sure.
And so Aesha asks Iain if he's come up with any beach games for the beach day. And he says, no, Sandy said that Gigi will, let him know about the games. And then Iain tells his deck team that he won't be at the beach. So it's kind of up to them to be creative and plan the games. This seems like a bit of a miscommunication. I mean, Sandy wanted him to go and like set up and make sure everything was
Yeah.
good, right? And then head back to the boat.
Yeah. Which makes total sense.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Gael suggests Greek Olympics, and Iain says, don't worry, the primary will tell us. Oh,
Oh, Lord.
dear.
This whole situation is a recipe for disaster, and I can't get over how he just left them and all of this
Yeah,
stuff just on the dock. Like, peace
so much
out.
stuff. No
And how
cart,
risky. No carts, no nothing. I'm like, what is this?
no
Like, it's
water.
very no water. Oh, it's a
Yeah,
mess.
so
How
crazy.
risky, though, is it by not having any sort of plans in your back pocket just in case?
I know. This is so crazy.
I'm pretty
So,
sure I was like, Iain, bruh, what are we doing? Like,
yeah, isn't he an experienced bosun? Like, what's going on here?
so
So,
he says,
meanwhile, Joe is flirting with Bree and Ellie here and there.
with Hurricane Briellen, Briellina, I think that's what they called it
Brillina,
themselves.
something like
Briellina,
that.
yes.
So Iain drives the tender back after dropping off Joe and Gael with all the stuff. And like I said, no water. They're very thirsty. And it's just like, good luck to you.
Very dangerous. I
Yeah.
hope when they bring the food that they'll have something for them to drink because that could be,
Yeah. This is
we
not
don't know.
good. It was a long
Yeah.
walk carrying all that stuff. And they made at
Mm,
least 3 or 4 trips, I think.
at least. Yeah.
So back on board, Iain remembers there's trolleys to help carry the stuff. Great. Meanwhile, Gael and Joe are on their third trip, and a little local boy is like helping load up a chair for them.
As Iain is back on board, presumably in a climate controlled area, slamming an energy drink. So we got
Yeah,
that going.
yeah, exactly. And he had the waters for them just sitting there while he drank. Anyway, okay.
Rude.
So the guests are chomping at the bit to head to the beach, and Iain says, "Oh yeah, they can go on over." He does not check with Joe and Gael to see if they're ready for the guests. And not only are there no games set up, but the chairs and tables are not even set up when the
Mm-mm.
guests get there. And Aesha is very confused.
The guests were a bit antsy, weren't they, to get
They
there?
were.
And I'm just wondering why, like, they were so, I mean, yeah, it's exciting. You're going to go do something
Yeah, who
different,
knows
but
how long they'd been waiting though, or maybe there wasn't communicated to them like what time they were going. I
yeah.
don't know.
But as far as not checking in with them, what is happening? This is a total rookie mistake, right?
Totally. So
Yeah.
here's the irony. You literally have a gold medal Olympian as the primary.
Yeah.
You're in Greece, the birthplace of the Olympics,
Yeah.
and there's zero effort put into planning these games for her.
Love it. Oy.
So Joe plays volleyball with the guests. They play ring toss, they do the long jump. Looks fun.
Look at Joe with the jump serve, okay? We see you, Joe.
Very
All right.
sporty. It seems like they do love the food. There is a comment, though, that next time they travel together, they should get their own chef. This is not good.
So moussaka. Have you ever had it?
Hmm.
Do you know what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
In my
eggplant,
opinion,
right? Isn't it mashed
no.
eggplant?
I thought that was with, oh, you know what? I'm thinking of something else.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's
okay.
baked. I was thinking of pasticcio, which is like noodles and
Oh,
like
okay.
like a baked ziti,
Yeah.
but still like it seemed like it was a baked dish. It was like heavy,
Something hot for the beach.
hot for the beach. It just, I mean, I don't know. I think baked items going to the beach, I think things that come from like the bakery,
Yeah.
desserts. So anyway,
So Aisha talks to Ian about how the beach setup should go in the future,
sure.
and she's very nice about it. Gail tells Ian, next time, please communicate with them, like give them a heads up that you're at least on the way. And
Yeah.
he's kind of just giving excuses. We didn't have time. They were ready to go, blah, blah, blah. And then in
Yeah.
his green screen, he compares what the deck team dealt with today with a time he had to climb on rocks in Turkey.
Okay, because that's like comparing apples to car engines. Like, I think, in my opinion, I think he just likes the title of bosun,
Yeah.
but doesn't fully understand the responsibilities that go with that role. I don't
Yeah. I don't know. Things are not looking good for our bosun. So
know.
back on the boat, it's jet ski time.
Sandy totally called that. She said that they were going to want to do that when they got back.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So Jono's preparing dinner. He's going to do a seafood pasta, gazpacho. Every season they have to do gazpacho. Um, Sandy will be joining for dinner, and then afterwards they're going to have a Greek dancer come and
Okay.
break plates, blah blah blah. These deckhands must be exhausted. I don't know that anybody got a break today, but they've got to be so tired.
Or if they got any food. Those poor deckhands on the beach are like, I'm starving. Poor
Yeah.
guys and gals.
So the first course is this gazpacho, and Sandy and Gigi are trying to figure out what this spice is that's a little overpowering,
Yeah.
apparently. Jono says it's ginger, and he said, "Oh, this is the first time I've made this recipe." Um, Said somebody's like grandma. It sounds like he went to allrecipes.com, found something with some good reviews, and
Yeah.
called it a day. Kelly,
Yeah.
I have no words.
Girl. Same. Why would you tell someone that on a super yacht?
I know.
Like, I took cookies to a locally owned radio station once when they were doing like some sort of fundraiser live event thing. And I
Yeah.
told them they were an old family recipe and I had some extras, so I thought I would share. I didn't tell them I got them off the back of a craisins bag. Like, and to, to be fair, like I feel like this meal is so disjointed. So it's gazpacho is a traditional Spanish dish.
Right.
And then a seafood pasta, kind of an Italian dish. I just feel like the flavors are different.
Mm-hmm.
Just feels weird. And ginger
Sprinkle in
to
some
me is
ginger.
mostly like a East Asian
Yeah. And
flavor. I
German.
don't know.
Germans love ginger.
Do they really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
they do. Lots of ginger. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. It's a lot
Um,
going on.
yeah, it's a lot going on. So Sandy asked Gigi about her first Olympics in 92, and she tells a funny story about how there were some very rude people that walked to their seats between her first and second serve. Like that's not when you would get up.
Yeah.
And it was the king and queen of Spain.
It was a great story.
I love Gigi.
Her partner was like, you need to stop. Like, it's
Cool
fine.
it.
It's the queen. It's the king
They
and
can
queen of
do what they
Spain.
want. So Jono's dessert is overcooked, overbaked. Aesha thinks she might need to say something to him at this point because she's questioned so many of his dishes.
Yeah.
And Sandy isn't happy and she plans to, have a backup for Chef.
So it was an overdone chocolate lava cake,
Hmm.
which I think just ends up being a regular chocolate cake. Or,
Without the lava.
yeah, or as they may call it on the show, a chocolate sponge. So that would be 2 days, 2 meals in a row. They had chocolate sponge.
Yeah. The worst of all the cakes. So the guests go up top for the Greek performers, and this is fun.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, Aesha down below, she cuts her finger on a broken martini glass. I mean, I've said it before, martini glasses are dangerous. We don't
they
need to
are.
have boats. One of the guests has to go get her a band-aid and like fix her up.
That was really sweet of her
It
to go
was.
do that.
He said, "Oh, I wish you're not supposed to see this right now." So now it's time to smash plates. I didn't think they'd be breaking them on their bodies. Did you?
You didn't think so? I guess I've only seen it in the movies where they just chuck them,
Or yeah,
like
just like
throw them up
throw
and
it
they
on the
just go down.
floor.
Yeah,
But they were like hitting them on their bodies,
like on their
heads.
knees and
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I I didn't think about it either, but I was thinking, when it happens, like, do what you gotta do. I'm
Sure.
worried about this though. So this is the mom and me coming out for future charters. I mean, there's gonna be little shards of plate everywhere in
Yeah.
the seams, and they're gonna come out and crack people's feet. And
People are walking around barefoot.
yeah, I'm nervous. I'm worried. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah. I wonder, I mean, it sounded like they had these special plates. They probably like either break really easily.
Yeah.
I do know they make glass bottles that are actually made out of sugar and it looks like glass when you break it, but it's actually sugar. So I wonder if there's
Did you
something.
learn that by going to Tecumseh in the book?
No, oh my God, I love Tecumseh.
I feel like that's where I learned about that too. But yeah, the glass. I'm wondering if it, because they did break rather easily.
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
But I wonder, because I actually had a bride and groom that I photographed that they thought it'd be really funny to break beer bottles on each other's heads. And so they ordered these special bottles that are made out
like
of sugar.
props.
Yeah, I'll have to send you a picture. Yeah, they're like a prop
That's
bottle.
so cute. Okay, so that now my new worry is everything's going to be super sticky.
Okay, legitimate concern. I feel like we need to explain what Tecumseh is, first of
Okay,
all.
so Tecumseh is an outdoor drama
Yes.
performance, happens in the summer in the city of Chillicothe, which is just south of Columbus, probably about 45 minutes to an hour.
Hmm.
It's an outdoor play, and
About
it is
Tecumseh,
kind
who
of
was
like,
probably a real person, right?
yeah, so he was I don't know if he was a chief, but a leader in the Native American tribes in the area,
Yeah.
and he was murdered or something, and
Yeah. But
it was
you
a kind
like
of a big
go
deal.
into this amphitheater,
Yeah,
but you're outside. But when I
yeah,
was a kid, I would be like, are we outside or are we inside? Like I really
yeah,
couldn't tell.
because it was kind of like built into a mountain.
Yeah. And there's like a river and horses running through the river, and there was a like cliff face, and people would fall off the cliff, like stunt
Yeah,
people. It was
yeah.
cool. Do they still do
And
it? Is it still around?
oh yeah, oh yeah. And I
Oh,
got
I'd
to
love
go
to do
actually, I think once with Girl Scouts and did like a behind the scenes thing.
that. Ooh, that's
And I
cool.
think the local weatherman that was part of the show was what part of the showing us how things worked. Um, but yeah,
Okay.
no, it was, I mean, I feel like it's kind of one of those things where when people come to visit Ohio,
Uh-huh.
that's on their list.
Okay, interesting. I bet every kid that grew up in Columbus went to
We've
Tecumseh.
all been there
I need
a
to hear
couple
from
times.
more Ohio people if they know what Tecumseh is. Oh my
Or
gosh.
even people outside of Ohio. I would be so curious to see like
Yes.
how
Please let
far
us know if you've heard of Tecumseh, the outdoor drama in Chillicothe, Ohio.
I'll have to find out the name of the mountains, and I
Yeah.
use that quotation marks around it that it's in
Yeah.
because we don't have mountains. Come on.
Okay, the next day, it's drop off day. Bree
Yes.
and Ellie are talking in laundry and they're asking each other, if the other one likes Joe, and they both play it very cool and they're like, "Oh, I don't care. I don't care." So the tip meeting. Sandy asks about the beach picnic, and all the deckhands are like, "Oh, it was great. It went great."
Yeah.
Um, props to Gail for setting up the games. And so Sandy has no idea what a cluster this day was.
The guys, all the compliments they gave her were awesome. I
Uh-huh.
thought it was really great. Iain just sat there as he should, which is fair because he wasn't there, so he has no idea. I think it was probably smart they didn't say anything though about
Yeah.
what a show it was because I mean it turned out fine. The guests were
Guests were happy.
happy,
that was
and
their
that's all that
favorite.
matters.
Yeah, it was the guest's favorite part of the charter, it seemed like. So,
I
okay.
do think though it's going to come back to bite them.
Yeah, I think somebody needs to let Sandy know. Maybe
Yeah,
Aesha, because she kind of knows. Like,
sure.
hey, we got there. Nothing was set up.
Yes.
So Sandy tells Jono that they will talk later on the bridge, which is nice so she doesn't, call him out in front of everyone.
Right.
So the
Right.
tip is 25K. This is a very nice tip for the food not being great.
Was surprised. I was like, that's really
Yeah,
generous.
very generous. Jono on the bridge.
Hmm.
Sandy tells him the meal she had, the food was too salty,
Yeah.
and she questions his choice of chicken.
Yeah.
And she tells him that he really needs to work on his plating, and he really listens. Jono's very receptive to the feedback,
Mhm.
but Sandy texts Norma immediately to find a replacement chef.
The Norma signal has been put up. Norma! So Sadie also mentioned that the melted ice cream was not appetizing. And he said,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I think that the freezer may be broken." Well, um one, the sense of urgency there. But two, you're gonna have to throw all that food out because that's a danger. You can get some
Yeah.
people some really sickness. Like, oh
Yeah. That's
no,
that's crazy. Like, yeah, maybe we should have brought this up a while ago. So
right?
you said the Norma signal was sent out, and I was picturing like the Batman
Yeah, yeah.
signal. What would Norma's signal be like if they put that out?
Yacht,
A yacht, just
a bit, just like a
just a yacht.
stencil of a yacht.
Okay, I like it. We need someone to like, draw that. We need some fan art. Norma. Okay, the night out. This restaurant is not as scenic as the first night out dinner.
Mm-mm.
There was a very long shot of a Greek flag waving, and you see the top of the building showing all the air conditioner units and lights and things. I even rewound it. I was like, why are we looking at this? Um, but the food does look good at the restaurant.
To be honest, though, I feel like you could be in a back alley in Athens and it would still look beautiful.
That's true. Like, let's just look out at the ocean. I don't think we need to
Mm.
see the air conditioner units. So at dinner, Joe is being flirty with Bree.
Yep.
Then he's being flirty with Ellie,
Yep.
and he's keeping his options open. And Bree is quite annoyed, and she tells Jono, I want him.
But I mean, they said they didn't care. Like, okay. So in his green screen, Joe said he knows what he's up against. Like it's a lose-lose situation. One of them is not going to be happy with him or the other because the girls are roommates. So natural disaster is just like coming its
Yep,
way.
it's happening.
Yeah.
So to the club, Aesha
Yep.
is dancing with Jono, and Ellie and Joe are getting quite cozy. And then Nathan is flirting with Gael. And Ellie says she's decided she's just going to go for it with Joe.
There's so much going on. It
I
was
know.
very quick everywhere.
It was very quick. So Gail talks to Bree in the bathroom. She can tell that Bree's upset. And Gail says, we're stuck on a boat. Sometimes you just gotta drop anchor.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so Bree then goes and sits down with Joe. And to not get into specifics, she pretty much makes her intentions known.
And leaves very little to the imagination. And
Yeah.
Joe responded correctly, I think. Anyway, but all of that was happening while Ellie was making a TikTok.
Yep. Bree really moved in there. She took her opportunity where she could. So the next episode looks like there's going to be more issues with the food, and things are going to come to a head with Bree and Ellie. Things aren't going to
Oh,
be so
Lord.
smooth on the interior.
I don't like that.
I know. Well, it's time for a segment we're calling Acting Like Aesha, where we attempt to say an Aesha quote like the Kiwi Queen herself. Okay,
Okay.
Kelly.
Why don't
Um,
you go first this time? Like,
okay,
you
I'll
play
go
one for
first.
me first.
Okay. All right, let me pull up my voice memos.
The Grecians wore togas because they had so many orgies.
Grecians wore togas because they had so many orgies. You want me to play it again?
Yes.
The Grecians wore togas because they had so many orgies.
The Grecians wore togas because they, and now I sound English, like British. That's not even right.
Do you want me to give you a different one?
No, let me try. Let me see. I got to hear her say
The Grecians wore togas because they had so many orgies.
orgies. The Grecians wore togas because they had so many orgies.
Good job. That's good.
Okay. All right. Let me bring this one up.
Lava cake with melted ice cream tonight.
Lava cake with melted ice cream tonight.
That was so good. Yeah.
We're getting better. We're getting better.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's time for Hot Tub Convo, where we discuss what's happening with our favorite below deck cast members.
So Aesha and Alina were on Watch What Happens Live last week. Colin Macy O'Toole was in the audience. That was fun to see him. Love him.
Fun.
Andy asked if Aesha was surprised that Gail was planning to sneak off with Nathan. And Aesha said, if you heard the way that her current boyfriend was speaking to her, you would be looking elsewhere too.
Oh,
I
no.
know. So that's
Oh.
interesting. But she said he's not very supportive of her.
Mm.
And then someone asked why, when the wine didn't arrive, why didn't they send someone to go to the store to buy some? We were asking this too. And Aesha said they actually did go buy 6 bottles, but they didn't want to spend thousands of dollars on wine when your very reputable provision company kept saying everything was about to arrive, like any minute.
Yeah.
And
but it's only 6 bottles.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's like not only are they dealing with like the yacht money, but like it's also like Bravo money, like
That's
I'm sure
true.
it's a little more complicated than that.
And it's way more exciting when people aren't getting what they want.
Yeah, exactly. There's the TV element. So the big highlight for me was when Aesha said that Shep, Craig, and Austin looked worryingly related. I thought this was so funny.
You know why that's funny? Because she said what we've all been thinking. They all look like they're related.
Yeah.
And they looked gorgeous. Her and Alina look absolutely stunning.
Yeah,
so
they looked
pretty.
really good. Alina, I do feel like that dress was a little bit of a miss. But you did look gorgeous. Aesha looked gorgeous. Like, I'm just saying maybe work with a different stylist next time.
Here. Like, we don't, we know you got them. Just kind of cover them a little bit more. That's just the mom and me again. Sorry, low sienta.
You're such a prude, Kelly.
I am a prude. Okay, anyway. Alex Propson is visiting Chase in the British Virgin Islands this week, and their Insta stories are looking so fun. I can't wait to watch the YouTube video of their time together. And of course, can't wait to see Charlie.
Oh, yes, definitely. Love to see Charlie. And yeah, I am checking both of their stories like every day to see if there's any updates. I think they're having so much fun. They're not really posting that much. So I'm like, please, I need more content. But yeah, it looks super fun. So we have some sad, but also some happy news. Daisy's sister, Bonnie, was in a terrible moped accident in Thailand a few weeks ago. And Daisy and her parents are now in Thailand with Bonnie. And after several surgeries, Bonnie is doing better, but she's still in the hospital. And Daisy said it was a miracle she survived given the extent of her injuries. And the reason Daisy wanted to post about this is she didn't want other people to end up in the same situation. And so she keeps reiterating, do not ride on mopeds, but if you do, please wear a helmet and make sure you have insurance. You have travel insurance, travel health insurance. And I just want to say we're sending well wishes to Bonnie, wishing her a speedy recovery and thinking of the whole Kelleher family, keeping you in our thoughts. So
I have been seeing Daisy post stories and stuff of her in the hospital room with Bonnie.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Bonnie's fun personality is still fully intact, which is great.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. And it sounds like she has a long road ahead of her, but thoughts and prayers, and hopefully everything will be okay soon.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, Kelly, take us up with something happy.
Okay. Captain Jason is in LA with his daughter, and they went to Universal Studios with Brock, Scheana, and Summer Moon.
These stories were adorable. Like so riding cute. All the rides.
Yes.
Just so cute. And his daughter with Sheena's daughter. Like, I love it. Can you imagine being at Disney or Universal and like seeing all these Bravo people together?
No. That's so pretty cute. Cool though.
Yeah. Well, if we ever get a chance, we'll have to ask him about that day. It's just so cute.
And it's just an interesting pair up.
Yeah. Well, at BravoCon, was it BravoCon last year? I think it was BravoCon last year. He really developed quite a friendship with Scheana and Brock. Because remember, there was like a picture shown and Tom Sandoval was in a hotel room with like Scheana, Brock, Captain Jason.
And they were chatting.
Yeah. And so people were like all talking, but they're friends. So I think that's really, really cute. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, it's time for our segment, Join Me in the Wheelhouse, where we decide who needs to see Captain Sandy for a stern talking to. Kelly, who do you choose this week?
Iain.
100%.
He wasn't helpful. He didn't listen. He didn't have his listening ears turned on fully. So he heard what he wanted to. So Iain, come on up.
Get up here.
Side
Well,
note.
that's it. Huh?
Side note.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I'm like all over the place. Captain Jason is in LA.
Yeah, I'm sure he's recording green screens for Down Under.
That means
Cool.
we're close.
I know.
Okay.
It's exciting. So, well, that's it for this week's episode of Above Deck. Thank you to our team at Hurrdat Media, especially our awesome producer, Grace. Please subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to tell a friend, and please rate and review us 5 stars only.
Please follow us on Instagram at Above Deck Pod, and you can email us at abovedeckpod@gmail.com. You can always watch our episodes too on the Hurrdat Media YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm Kelly Busby.
And I'm Sarah Goldman. We'll see you next week.